He is a legend. He is a Hall of Famer. And season 2 of Straight Up Steve Austin premieres tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern on USA Network. The one, the and only Steve Austin here on The Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing great, Rich. I appreciate you having me on to talk about the show.
Always. Absolutely always. Did you spend any of the you don't seem like a couch potato to me, but did you spend any time of the weekend watching some National Football League playoff action, Steve?
Man, I can couch potato with the best of them, but I've been out, man. Just the weather. I'm in Nevada. The weather's been so good. I got on my side-by-side, and I've been four-wheeling in the mountains just about from daylight till dawn.
So tell me, what does a weekend in Nevada look like for Stone Cold Steve Austin? Seriously, walk me through what you did. Everybody wants to know.
Oh, just I load up my Kawasaki KRX 1000. I put it on my trailer. I go meet a buddy, and I got all my meals packed up. Yesterday we got in about 65 miles. The day before about 50, and it's not just all hauling ass. There's a lot of crawling, stopping, shooting the breeze, and eating lunches and stuff like that. But it's basically just exploring and getting outside. I mean, we've been inside enough.
Yeah, I bet. Quarantining. Have you caught any old highlights of any part of your life and career quarantining, just flipping around the channels, running through something?
No, they seem to keep showing up on Twitter and other forms of social media. But I never go back and revisit all that stuff unless someone puts it out there. And there's been some funny ones pop up, but I don't look for them.
Like what? So not saying that you look for them, you just came across. Which one, funny one that popped up where you just forgot about, or you're like, oh yeah, that was a great moment. Anything like that?
God dang. Yeah, there was one. I guess they call it the greatest finish in the history of SmackDown. It was the last 2 minutes. From that roster, about everybody in the locker room that was there should be in the Hall of Fame or will be in the Hall of Fame soon. And everybody came out there, and I think there's probably 8 to 12 guys who rotated around hitting each other with their finishes. And, of course, like dominoes, the guys that got hit needed to stay down. They stayed down. And I started it by taking a choke slam from The Undertaker, and I finished it about 2 minutes later by hitting The Rock with the Stone Cold Stunner. So that one just made the rounds, and they call it the best 2 minutes ever of a SmackDown.
And my Rich Eisen Show expert on this, T.J. Jefferson, you were nodding your head as he was beginning to walk through that whole thing, right?
Oh yeah, everyone, like he said, was just finish after finish after finish. But of course, it had to end with the GOAT, which is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And the brains behind that was Pat Patterson. And, man, for all those guys to feed in and the sequence and the timing and every blind feed was right there where it needed to be. So it was executed at the highest level possible.
So when you say mastermind behind it, walk me through what Pat, what do you do? I mean, he just comes up with it and talks to everybody about it and things like that, or what?
Yeah, we lost Pat a few months ago.
Right.
But Pat was just one of those great finish guys or just detail guys in the business, just as far as maybe like orchestrating a game plan or a final 2-minute drive to, win a game in football. He just said, hey, man, here's what I see. And that's what we did.
6-time WWF champion, WWE Hall of Famer from the class of 2009, and the host of Straight Up Steve Austin Season 2 premiering tonight on USA Network. Stone Cold Steve Austin right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Favre is a guest, huh? You got Brett on the show this?
Man, we went down to Mississippi and had a great time with Brett, did some outdoor activities. Then that guy, we're almost the same age, Rich, me and Brett. And so I was wondering how this guy is going to be, see what he's going to be all about. And he was in there getting his makeup on. It was kind of a makeup preset with me and Brett and COVID and all that other stuff. So, but I was wondering how he's going to be, and I always introduce myself to the guests before we start the show, of course. And I shook his hand, and I said, God dang, Brett, it's nice to meet you. I said, I've been watching you a long time. He looks up at me. He goes, I've been watching you too, Stone Cold. And we bonded from the moment we shook hands until we parted ways. And he's an unbelievable guy. To spend a day with a gunslinger, very cool.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the number of times where I've texted Brett, and he always receives a text or a call from me whenever something big is happening in the NFL, and he's always so kind to call in. But sometimes he will always say he's either hunting, fishing, biking, or playing golf. Those are he literally spends probably more time outdoors than indoors in his life.
Absolutely. And to me, I mean, that's the perfect schedule.
Would it be in that order, though, Steve? Would that be hunting, fishing, biking, golfing? Would that be your order?
Yeah, for me, you can take out the biking and I'll go the driving range. So driving range, I'll put in drinking a beer in place of his number 3.
How far do you hit a golf ball? I got to hear that. How far can you hit a golf ball, Steve?
Rich, if I get a hold of one in the proper fashion, I'll send it into orbit. The problem is I rarely get a hold of one square. I'm either slicing them or hooking them or topping them, and they'll go about 10, 15 yards or sometimes even that 3-footer. So it's pretty embarrassing. But if I connect,
Yes.
It's gone.
Now, when you say gone, seriously, what do you mean? Give me a number. Give me a number, Steve.
I don't know.
Come on.
Probably 850 yards.
Well, that would disintegrate the golf ball, Steve. I don't think.
Hey, no, hold on. You calling me a liar?
No, I am not, sir. No, I am not. But I'll just take that. Also,
that's the thing, Rich. When you look at the technique of those golfers, they're not the biggest human beings in the world,
right?
And a lot of them are like ectomorphic in build. Some not. But man, with that technique, you can be as strong or as powerful as you want to be, but it's all about the technique. I can't hit a ball as far as those guys. Those guys absolutely crush it.
But you can, if you catch one though, look out. Basically, you have to have
and once in a blue moon.
Yeah, and so other guests this year, Tiffany Haddix, I will definitely tune into that. I find her hilarious. What's your conversations with Tiffany like on the show?
Just amazing from the background that she came from to where she is now, and being one of Time Magazine's 100 most influential people. You feel her charisma, Rich, when you meet her. It's something that's like magnetic, or I don't know what you call it, but man, she can light people up on her stand-up stuff. And of course, her girl trip broke her out, but she's absolutely on fire, and she's just an amazing person. So it was a great day at the office, if you want to call what I do in office.
Well, you have to, I guess, technically.
I guess.
Another guest from this season was just on the show, Chris Brockman, my colleague across the way. Bert Kreischer is with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Does he take his shirt off in this episode, Steve?
What do you think?
I say yes. I say absolutely he does.
He does, and we drink beer, and he's so funny and told so many outlandish, hilarious stories. I spit out more beer than I drank.
Makes sense to me. He is just out of his mind. He truly is out of his mind. But he is so damn funny. You're right about that, Steve.
He is out of his mind, but he's out of his mind in the right creative way.
Yeah, what kind of... Yeah.
I haven't hung out with him personally, so he could truly be out of his mind. I don't know.
Go and ask the question, Chris. Go ahead.
Yeah, Steve, like what would the machine wrestling gimmick look like, Bert's alter ego?
What do you think?
Man, that's a great question. We were in a swimming pool, standing there drinking beer. He was wearing what he was wearing. So when you see the episode with Bert, that would be the machine. That's a teaser.
I love it. That's very good. Before I let you go, a season 1 guest had a big, huge night last night. You had Baker Mayfield on your show in season 1, and he came up with his first career playoff win, doing for Cleveland what Cleveland hoped he would do for them in just his 3rd year of being with the team. What did you glean from Baker when you got to meet him, Steve?
I gleaned that he had a future. I liked the young man that I met. He says all the right things. He does all the right things. He was never the chosen one. He's worked his tail off to get to where he is. I think he said, maybe I'm paraphrasing, but he just needs to play football and focus on football. And it seems like that's what he's doing. They got a lot of talent over there. Baker is a born leader, and I think he's a born winner. And I wish him the best, and I'm proud to have had him on the show.
Steve, thanks for coming on this show. Like, as always, if you ever need me for anything, I know that COVID hit just as we were going back and forth about appearing on your podcast. I just love our conversations, and so do the fans of this show who are going to watch you on Straight Up Steve Austin tonight on USA. Thanks for the call. Really appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Rich, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll do that. Appreciate you.
You bet. That's Steve Austin, Stone Cold, right here.
Stone Cold.
At Steve Austin, BSR on Twitter and Instagram, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.